do some work and believe, know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that.
This is insane. I never thought I'd have to make a video like this and actually be brave enough to even express myself in the way that I'm about to express myself. Woo. Got a lot on my mind and got a lot to say. I've been processing now for the past 3 days, and I don't know. Things are about to get real, and I feel pretty good about it. So, I mean, let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. First and foremost, man, this is by all means not about whether or not Jon Gruden should have been fired. Because at the end of the day, he wasn't fired. He resigned, number one. Number two, he's gone. And it really doesn't matter at this point because you ain't going to reverse the clock. You can't reverse the clock back to bring him back, and you cannot reverse the clock back for him to take back the things that he had in those emails. However, I think it's fair that we look at it from a logical perspective, and more importantly to me, a real perspective. I've been pounding my head on a table now, like I said, for 3 days, trying to ask myself, what does this mean in the big picture of things? Like, as our society, how do we look at society as a whole, and how does the thought process go from here? And as I started to process the information and think about what was said and how it was said, a lot of people are quick to come on here and just flat out say, you know what, man, I can't believe he did that. He's not who I thought he was. He needs to go, cancel, bam, he's out of here. And even people that don't believe in cancel culture and how that all works and how that all operates in our world today, there's still people that come out and be like, you know what? Flat out, this dude's a racist. This dude's misogynist. This guy is homophobic, and he just needs to get out. And because of the fact that these emails were exposed, I would honestly say that is a fair assessment depending on what one of those categories you fall into. But make no mistake about it, most of the people that are talking about this particular situation have said things behind closed doors, maybe sent emails themselves or what have you, and has said something derogatory towards one or more of these particular conversations pieces, right? Someone has said something misogynistic, someone said something homophobic, someone said something racist. And when we hear that someone's a racist or say something racist, it's not white versus black all the time. You know, a lot of the times it's, you know, everybody versus everybody. I mean, you know, we don't take offense to certain racial slangs as we do others, and that's well noted in our history of why. But racism is identified as racism. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what your nationality is. You know, we all have a sense of pride and conviction of who we are as people. And as I sat here and I thought through this process, I was like, damn, you know, have I said stupid shit before? Yeah. I told myself I was gonna make this video. I gotta be real. Have I said stupid shit before? Yeah. Have I meant it from a racial perspective? No. Have I meant it from a misogynistic perspective? No. Have I meant it from a homophobic perspective? No. One of my closest friends right now is gay. My best friend is a woman. My wife. Right? Like, I don't mean any of those things that I say derogatory. Sometimes it's just a thought process, or sometimes it's just a moment, and you just say, maybe it's a joke. You know how many jokes out there are against white, Asians, blacks, the LGBT community, you name it. There's a joke for anything. And if you're a comedian or you label it, hey, this is all from a joke, but that person just might mean it. Then I stumble across this video today, right before coming on here, and I'm going to play it. Let me see if I want to do something real quick. Hopefully my voiceover on my phone is not being picked up yet. Because I want to play something for you all. Because I think it's very much what I'm talking about here. And I think it's important to cover all angles of the situation. Make sure that it's set correctly. And it looks like we're good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. Now, this clip, can't see exactly. I might be able to. Hold on. All right, this video is. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so you could find this video. It's a clip that it's on Wi-Fi Willie's page. I didn't realize that maybe that's why it popped up on my phone. I was kind of shocked that it did. So now it makes sense because I follow Wi-Fi Willie. He makes Raider videos, makes football videos in general, but he had reposted. He found this. I don't know where he found it. So go check Wi-Fi Willie's page. Maybe he'll have the source listed there. Again, reiterate for those who don't know, I am blind. I'm legally blind. I'm visually impaired. I do have some partial sight, but very little. And it's funny because I deal with discrimination. I deal with, is there such a thing as racist towards a blind person? If so, that's have happened to me almost on a daily basis, just for the record. So I have my own feelings and my own situation that I deal with on a daily basis that causes me depression, anger, and such. So anyway, go to Wi-Fi Willie's. I guess this is where I found this video. I didn't know. It just popped up in my feed. But I'm going to go ahead and play an excerpt out of here. It's KJ Wright, a black man, talking about the Jon Gruden situation. I thought it very interesting.
Think that Jon Gruden should be welcomed back into the NFL.
Yes. We all fall short. We all say stupid stuff. We all mess up. And should he be canceled forever because of this? I don't think so. Well, first of all, when I signed with the Raiders, Jon Gruden was a big part of why I decided to come here. I've always loved, we did on ESPN, Monday Night Football. He was a Super Bowl winning coach.
Lips are the size of Michelin tires. A lot of people have characterized that as a racial trope.
Come out, and he clearly said what he said that was in the article. He said what he said. I was making sure that there wasn't more to the email. I was making sure there wasn't other racial language that is very offensive. That's what I was looking for in the email. And so his words stood clear, and I was like, okay, he didn't say the N-word. He didn't say anything of that nature. So for me, I didn't look too in depth into it. I wasn't too offended because for me, there's only certain racial things that trigger me. Yeah, and let's just get to the root of it. Let's just get to the root of it, because a lot of people were asking me, do you think what he said was racist? Do you think Jon Gruden's a racist? For me, I know that us as people, we make stereotypical comments about different ethnic cultures. People do that. And so was it racist? Did it make Jon Gruden a racist? No. Did it have racial undertone? I would say yes, it did. And so my thing is that when it comes to those emails, a lot of us as people say things in private that we wouldn't dare say in public, right? I could go through your phone, I could go through somebody's emails and find something that I would look like, oh, this person is not who they portray to be, right? And so that's the thing. I know that we've had a lot.
I don't want to play the whole thing. I think you get the gist of where I'm going with this, right? You know how many comments that I've had over the years in my comment section about me wearing sunglasses on here, even if they know that I'm blind, or personally attack me purposely because they know I'm legally blind. And I know it's night and day, it's night and day. But honestly, if you suffer from a disability, especially the one that I have, I mean, this has been around longer than slavery, blindness I'm talking about. And the point that KJ Wright is making is that this was a conversation that was taking place through email in private. However, it was done on a platform that's a business platform. And I could tell you right now, my business email for Valley Center for the Blind where I work, I don't have any type of conversations using my work email. No type of conversation. It's all business related, business conversations, meetings, planning meetings, reporting on things that I'm working on. Even if I'm reaching out to peers of mine, friends, people that I talk to outside of work, I'm keeping it 100 professional completely all the time. And this was a private conversation. Now, because he had it in such a business environment, I don't think it should be protected. This is where I'm saying there's pros and cons to all of this, and everybody wants to just pick one side and label somebody something. Is Jon Gruden a racist? No, I don't think he is. I think his reasoning behind the Michelin tire statement is factual. I think he meant rubber lips. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the Michelin tire, the Michelin tire mascot is a white tire. I may be wrong. I'll look into that. But here nor there, I really don't think that he meant anything racial about it. I don't think that necessarily labels him as a racist. Like KJ Wright said, I think he looked for more context in that. Now, that might still doesn't mean that's not going to be taken offensive by our black community. And we need to recognize that as individuals and respect that. Jon Gruden, the same. However, the misogynistic comments he made and the homophobic comments he made, now those, no matter how you try to look at it, are wrong. And there's no, well, was there any undertone there, or, is there anything to back it up that was not particularly this way? That was pretty straightforward. And it doesn't matter, regardless. There's a few things that are out there. Number one, it was a private conversation. Yeah, it was a private conversation on a business platform, and that is unacceptable in itself. So you put yourself out there, that becomes public, in my opinion. Then there's the comment that he did not work for the NFL at the time, so why does it matter? Well, I mean, he did represent the NFL brand. I mean, being a commentary face of ESPN on Monday Night Football, which is an NFL program, it still relates directly to the NFL. And as far as the comments he made against Roger Goodell, I don't care. Come on, Roger Goodell needs thicker skin than that. And let's face it, we've all thought that about Roger Goodell anyway, because the sport has gotten soft, and we do recognize that there's some serious consequences to playing the sport, and a lot of these players that still play today are known of these things, and it's their choice to continue to play anyway. So we all make our own choices in life. But to sum this all up, all right, I stick with what Derek Carr said. I hate the man's actions, but I love the man. I love the human side of everybody. And I think instead of, throwing rocks and kicking dirt at somebody for obviously making some serious mistakes, I think that we need to support him, and we need to love on him and really kind of lift him up and make him a better person moving forward. Right? You could forgive but not forget, all that kind of stuff. I truly believe in all that. You should always forgive, but you never forget. And does this mean that Jon Gruden should or should not have a job in the NFL? I will first and foremost tell you right now that he should not have a job in the NFL. You cannot really come back from something like that. I mean, you need to take your lumps. This is part of the growing experience and learning lesson, and set an example for other people of what to think about and what to do moving forward. So that, to me, that's where we're at with the Jon Gruden situation. What does this mean for the Raiders moving forward? For a lot of us fans that have been on the fence about Jon Gruden and his ability to coach this football team, the sky's the limit. And, as it pertains to our current situation as we get ready to play the Denver Broncos, I think it's going to be what it's going to be. Is this a distraction? Yeah, you could say so. Obviously there's people in the organization that's emotional about it, and I think it's going to have an effect on the football team. but most professional athletes, most people in general, tend to rise to a different level when they face adversity. And I think that's the opportunity that the Raiders have this week against the Broncos. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to win. I just think this is an opportunity to take some of the things that you're going through and turn a negative into a positive. And I believe it was best said that, from a defensive perspective, which is our strength, by the way, nothing changes. Nothing changes. Jon Gruden didn't really have much to throw in on when it came to defense. From an offensive perspective, our offense has struggled since, week one. I know we won a couple of games, and at times it's looked really great, and at other times it's looked really bad. I think this kind of a drastic change may be a positive thing moving forward, and I think it gives everybody a different perspective and an opportunity to do something different. And when you do something different when you're struggling, that could either have a positive or negative effect. So again, we find ourselves in this limbo world where it's like, hey, what's going to come of this? Is this going to be a positive or a negative? And honestly, we're not going to know until they play the game. And that's why they played the games. But I like the idea that maybe Derek Carr will have a little bit more say, and I'm going to touch on that before we get out of here. Greg Olsen has been with him since day one. When he was drafted, there was a time period away from each other, where they did not work with each other. But Olsen's been there since Gruden's been back. So this is their fourth year straight again together, working the same offense. So there's no setbacks in the system or the philosophy, just the way that the plays are designed and called. So again, I think that has potential to be positive. And I want to touch on this before I get out of here, because, I wanted to go in a little harder on Raiders versus Broncos, but this is so overpowering. There's really nothing you could say. It's the typical stuff, right? The offense has to play better. The defense has to continue growing. Our defense is an average football team at best. They have a ton of room for improvement. The ceiling on that defense is still really high. They're not even close. I think it's borderline average right now. There's no turnovers. The running game has been suspect. There's been some positive things. We need to get more sacks, more turnovers, and get better in the running game. Then I'm going to start saying that we're playing above average, and as that improves, it'll get better. So that's standard quo. The offense in general, we already know what they got to do, and that's you got to execute to win football games. This game can go either way. We can talk all day about what it's going to take for the Raiders to win, but I think the most interesting thing moving forward is how more relaxed is a guy like Derek Carr going to be in play now that he doesn't have Jon Gruden hovering over him. Now, Jon is a very hard, straightforward coach, and Derek took to it very well. Derek has that type of personality. Derek has thick skin. He believes in himself. And Derek, you could tell, is very hurt by the situation because he felt like he was starting. And I think that's the key thing. Derek was really starting to feel close. They've been through a lot together, a lot of battles. Coach has always had my back. Has he? I keep seeing these images of Derek Carr, and I may have missed some and few between, but after football games and in certain pressers, Derek Carr is wearing an all-black hat, and now I'm blind once again, guys. So if this all-black hat that I see Derek wear, if it has a hidden type real dark Raider logo or something that says Raiders on that hat in it, and I keep missing it, someone in the comment section, please let me know that it's there. But I think in that presser that I saw him in yesterday, for the first time, he was actually wearing a hat that was straight, blatant in your face Raider logo. And I think for the first time, he believes that he has an opportunity to really take this team again and maybe even get that extension. We've talked about it. Why hasn't he gotten it yet? Gruden's never fully came out and supported him in the way that I think Derek wanted him to. And regardless of what their conversations are behind the scenes, I think it was almost like walking on eggshells for Derek when it came to Gruden. And I'm speculating here. None of this is factual. I just got the feeling. I think we all understand. And even as how we act as fans, there's never been anything solid to say that this organization had Derek's back. I think this is an opportunity for Derek to create himself that situation, and an overpowering, well-known figure around the National Football League like Jon Gruden is not in control of that anymore. And I think there might be a real level of rest for Derek in his mind, and when he's approaching this now, knowing that, the guy that really, really probably would have pulled that trigger faster than anybody in this organization is now gone. He loves the man. I think he had respect for the man. I mean, obviously, he's done great things for Derek's career. He's made his numbers improve every year. I think he's turned Derek into a more efficient quarterback. I still think there's a next step. I think, we often talk about Derek playing real conservative because he's always trying to toe the line with Jon because he doesn't want to lose his job. I think now Derek has an opportunity, especially in this situation, to kind of let loose and play like himself, to play the way he wants to play, the way he feels like he can perform, even in this particular offense, and take it to another level. It's something I'm excited to see. I'm not going to judge Derek necessarily on that statement in this particular game because it's still fresh, it's still new, there's a lot going on. But, especially after the bye, heading into the next part of the season, it's something to look at. And then this is also could backfire on Derek too, right? Like, what is Derek without Jon Gruden? What is Derek like if he's trying to play more open? Is he the guy of the future? So I think that oftentimes raises the level of athleticism in athletes. And again, I think could be all positive moving forward. Now it's up to the players to prove all of the stuff that I'm saying to be correct or incorrect. We have to sit back as fans and do what we do best, and that is watch it, enjoy it, root for our team. It's win, lose, or tie, Raiders till we die, and that's where we're at. This is where we're at. He's gone, and in my personal opinion, he should be gone. He should have to answer for what he did. He did it on a platform, regardless if it was a private conversation. He did it on a platform that wasn't so private, right? I could have a private conversation with you on a public sidewalk, and that's open for everybody. I could take my video camera out and stand in front of your house and stand on a sidewalk and film your house as long as I'm doing it on public property. And that's the way that I feel these emails were. They were on public property. It was NFL office type, you sent it to a Washington organization that's being investigated. It's fair game. And it doesn't matter, what the situation is. I'm not even here to get into if someone has it out for him or not. People in power and money, they always have it out for each other, man. It's just the way that it is. He got caught up in a very bad situation, but when you think you know somebody, right? Again, I'll reiterate, I don't think he's a racist. I really don't. But he's definitely has something with women in a man's sport, which I don't think is fair or right. I believe in equality. I also believe that he is homophobic, and I don't believe in today's society there's a place for that. Like I said, one of my closest friends right now is, the dude's amazing. He's gay. Does that matter? Should I change my opinion on that? Absolutely not. I'm glad that he's in my life. I'm glad that he's my friend, and my best friend is my wife, who's a female. So, I do personally have, a way to feel about some of those things that he said. I don't believe in that perspective. And there's going to be people that disagree with me of that too. There's going to be, trust me, I've heard it on other channels, not Raider channels, just search YouTube. Plenty of men out there believe that women shouldn't be in positions of power or, involved in men's sports or men's environment. And I don't necessarily think that's the case, and with every good man is a good woman. So that's just my personal feelings on all that. And I think that's going to wrap it up. Hey, let's tune in. Let's watch Raiders versus Broncos. Big game. A lot of implications in this game. I mean, this is a way for us to get a division win under our belt, to get back up and be in a situation where a couple of games over 500, stay pace with the Chargers. I still believe that they're the team to beat, but don't count the Chiefs out. We have a chance to improve here. So let's see if we could face adversity, rise to the occasion, and show character once again and play like an actual NFL football team, especially on offense. So that's where we're at. All right. And until next time, stay Raider strong.
I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning.